Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember.
You're here to learn about a man named Lu Bu, a character from Record of Ragnarok, the Flying General, one of the strongest humans to ever live, and the first fighter for humanity in the tournament. Well, you've come to the right place. Hi guys, my name's Christian, and I'm here to tell you about Lu Bu from Record of Ragnarok. Born Lu Bu Fengxian, this guy is one mean and tough son of a bitch, I can tell you that much. He's probably one of the most physically imposing fighters on the side of humanity, save maybe Adam, one of the toughest boys in the entirety of the tournament. We don't know exactly how old he is by the time he's in his prime, as we learned from Sasaki Kojiro. Everybody in the tournament, from humanity's side at least, is summoned back in their prime. We don't exactly know how old he is in his prime, but I do believe he's about the age of 30, because that's what he was in when he was executed. He was around the age 30. Now let me tell you, this guy is such a badass. You may be questioning, oh, well, if he's so strong and powerful, how did he die? He had to have been killed by a human. Well, it's actually funny you should mention. The guy is so overpowered that he got so bored of being able to beat everyone that he fought, he literally surrendered himself to be executed by this great and undefeated general, Xiao Xiao. He basically just sacrificed himself. He was like, if you guys don't hang me, I'm gonna die of boredom, so just go ahead and off me. And yeah, the record books will tell you that he begged for his life and he pleaded and he was crying out, but Record of Ragnarok has a very different take on the matter. Yeah, they don't call him the Flying General for nothing. He was definitely one of the strongest warriors, if not the strongest warrior, in the Three Kingdoms. And he fought a good fight as the first round against the Vanguard of the Gods, Thor, another really physically powerful character. He also has a spin-off manga, if you guys are unaware, where he is the main character. It basically goes about giving us more information about Lu Bu and his journey, as, of course, if you guys watched the tournament, I don't feel like we're going to be getting much out of him anytime soon anymore. I have to say I'm a bit undecided about his design. It fits his personality. It's a very berserker kind of, look to him. He's a powerful and imposing kind of guy, very intimidating, but I feel like at sometimes, the shark tooth and the way his eyes kind of roll off of focus and stuff and kind of go lazy. I kind of feel like it's goofy a little bit sometimes, but all in all, I think he's at least a 6 out of 10 in the design aspect. And he's a big, muscular guy. He's got lots of scars. It really sells the point that he's like this very experienced and learned warrior with many battles under his belt. He's got some really cool tattoos on his body. He's got a dragon. I think he has a tattoo. And the word that it translates to, it's of course in kanji, but the word it translates to in English is of course Flying General, his famous nickname. So yeah, I really dig his tattoos and his overall really imposing, aesthetic he's got going on. I think his facial hair is a little wonky, and the fact that he does not have eyebrows, it's not doing it for me. It was like one of the only things I didn't like about Super Saiyan 3 when that form was revealed. So I don't know how I'm vibing with the no eyebrows, but it is what it is. And of course, while they don't appear too often, his shark teeth do have an appeal to him as well. His sharp fangs that he has, they're very intimidating, and it also gives you a very, Blood Knight vibe, kind of like Kenpachi or Yujiro Hanma. It kind of gives you that same, ready for any fight kind of vibe, but sometimes it does look a little goofy, in my opinion. As far as the man himself, what else can be said except he is the spirit of war, the spirit of fighting in of itself. He's fearless, bold, determined, and he's definitely itching for a fight at every second of every minute of every day. If you really watch the fight and watch how he acts in the fight, he is having a good time basically getting murdered. Yeah, it goes to say how much he values conflict and war if he was literally willing to participate in an assisted suicide of himself just because he couldn't get any action. Even in an instance where he's certain he's about to die, the final strike of their fight, his fight between himself and Thor, he just kind of takes it head on. He keeps going, he powers through it, and he accepts what happens to him, and he kind of becomes Mike Wazowski for a second, as you can kind of see his eyeball peeking out from where it got smashed out of with the hammer, and then he becomes a pizza. Now, it does suck that he lost his fight and he died, and it really put a damper on humanity's side of the fight. You know, oh, we've lost the first round. You know, it was great that he was putting up such a good fight. You know, everyone was really surprised. It was, you know, it was said that they had this feeling that finally primates, you know, humans were able to overcome their creators, and it was like this great moment of pride, but his ultimate defeat really sucker punched everybody in the gut there. You know, the gods were back on their high horse and their soapbox about how weak and pathetic humans are, and the humans had been kind of brushed aside, and they felt like they had no chance, and they were all down in the dumps, and that would later go on to be rectified in later fights, but at least in this instance, humanity's confidence took a serious blow. Now, I say that, but consider this. To go toe-to-toe with the mighty god of the Norse pantheon, Thor, with his massive hammer and his overwhelming strength, Lu Bu was definitely packing some immense strength. Even no-name gods, you know, the people in the audience that aren't really addressed or anything, they're just members of the audience, even those guys are able to keep up with the fight between Adam and Zeus, which, if you calculate the time frames they give for each of the attacks, it was happening at, like, light speed. So, if those guys can keep up with their fight, I mean, I'm sure Lu Bu would be able to as well. He's one of the stronger humans in all of human history. You know, he's probably in the top 13 at least, because he was chosen as a representative. So, not only is he way stronger than most people alive, or I'd say all of them, especially with that Sky Eater attack where he split the sky in half, but he's also got reflexes to boot. And of course, probably one of his greatest strengths, his durability and endurance. The guy is able to take hits from Thor's hammer, he's able to block them with his weapon, and he's completely fine or whatever. He was able to take a hit from, you know, Garrod, and while yes, it did result in the shattering of both of his legs, that's where the endurance comes into play. See, he was able to tank hits, you know, from Thor's Mjolnir, you know, he was able to block them and keep going, he was fine, but his endurance really comes in when we see his body get broken down, and he's fine. You know, he gets shattered to pieces at one point, right before his final strike. He almost gets, like, completely destroyed after getting hit with Garrod Thor's hammer, and he just keeps going. Two more things our friend Lu Bu has under his belt. Of course, as the flying general, he does have his red hair, his, like, horse that he's had for years and years and years. It's one of his greatest friends, and it's one of his most loyal compatriots, so of course he's going to be an expert equestrian as well. But that's not to say that's his only unique ability as far as his combat skills, because of course, as we see, he's an expert at using pole arms, particularly the halberd. He was able to go toe-to-toe with Thor and do pretty well with his spear. So, I mean, I would never downplay somebody who can match a god in combat. You know, if they're able to match somebody who has hundreds of thousands of years of combat experience with their weapon, I'd say he's pretty damn impressive. And finally, we'll be going over Randgriz and what she provides for Lu Bu in this fight. Randgriz, his Volung, the shield breaker, has the ability to basically bypass defenses. It cracked through Yarngriper, it was able to, you know, pierce through this extremely heavy gauntlet that's supposed to be able to even take the impact of Thor's immense strength when he swings Mjolnir, and Randgriz, Skypiercer, was able to pierce through it. She was able to break it. So obviously that's a very useful ability, but of course, Lu Bu isn't to be counted out either. Randgriz doesn't pack everything in this relationship, as Lu Bu was able to develop his own ability. With his Skypiercer weapon, which is Randgriz given Voland form, he is able to perform the Sky Eater attack. It's his ultimate attack, in which he performs by gripping the very end of Skypiercer with one hand, and he does a powerful downward swing, and he can literally split the sky in half. We watched him do it while he was still alive. He's trying to find the perfect weapon to be able to do it, to withstand the force and be able to successfully use the attack, and he does it, and he literally splits the clouds right down the middle. Like, this guy is insane. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video. Comment about who you want me to cover in Records of Ragnarok next. I probably plan to do either Thor or Adam, depending on whether or not I want to do, you know, go about it with rounds, or if I want to go humanity and then gods. I look forward to new chapter releases. I'm always keeping up to date with them. The most recent fight between Raiden and Shiva, it's getting very interesting, and I feel that it's coming very close to a close. So be on the lookout for that. I'll go on record right now and say I think Raiden's going to win. I know a lot of people have been saying that Shiva's probably going to win because the author of the manga doesn't want to upset his Indian audience. His Hindi audience, more specifically, because they hold Shiva in such a high regard. But I don't think he's necessarily concerned about that. I think he's just more concerned about telling a story. So, like I said, comment who you guys want me to talk about next, or any other manga you guys want me to talk about next, or hell, any other kind of content you guys want me to cover. I'm here, I'm willing to do it, and I'm in it for the long haul. So, subscribe if you want to be in it for the long haul with me. Hit the notification bell if you guys want to be updated of all my releases and all the content that I'm going to be putting out this year. And yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video about Lu Bu from Record of Ragnarok, and I'll see you in the next one.
Up until